you very much.
I'm Minerva Spencer, bass player of the Golden Hexegrams.
I'm Langston Spencer. I play guitar and sing Golden Hexegrams.
I'm Francis Day. I'm the drummer of the Golden Hexegrams.
All right. Now we can talk about what's happening right now with the band, recordings, what's new, what's going on. We'll start.
Well, we put out our debut album end of last year, beginning of this year. My dates get a little bit fuzzy, but and we've been promoting that mostly, but we recently finally got a full-time drummer, so that's been a huge benefit. I mean, maybe I'm speaking just from a bass player perspective, but I really like having a drummer in the band.
Yeah. So you feel the
Yeah. Right away, like I had like a week to prepare for the tryout for the band, and I like was really busy with my day job, and I like didn't have a lot of practice time. But I came in and like had a vague like knowledge of the songs. Came in and pretty much were like, "That's the song," and I'm like, "Okay." They're like, "You must have practiced a lot." And I'm like, "No." So I came in and everything kind of worked really well. She's an amazing bass player, and this guy's an amazing guitarist. So just everything's clicked out really well, and so we're just like I got in, learned the old stuff, and now we're just starting to work on new stuff, gigging a lot. And
Well,
now
right now,
this record's like almost a year, right?
yeah, it's in January it'll be about a year, you know, fully done. We finished recording actually today about a year ago, so it's our anniversary of our first.
You have sealing the deal on Orison, so it's really cool to be playing, you know, such a good show with such good bands tonight. 'Cause it's kind of like just keeping that momentum going of every year. Let's just keep kicking butt.
Yeah.
It seems like that's how it has to be done.
It does. You know, there's stages in bands, and you got to kind of focus in between stages. And right now, we're at the end of learning all the songs off of our current album and playing it as a set. And it is really smooth. We have all our transitions down. Everything's sounding good. The energy of the band is right. And I think the new songs that we're going to add in the next couple months, they're going to open up a whole new feeling in the set, which is already high energy. But I think it'll take the energy, and it's almost like in quantum physics when there's that theory about applying a whole bunch of energy to something, so you bend time-space. So we're going to try to bend our set a little bit, you know, kind of make it a little bit more psychedelic. And our stage show is probably going to become a little bit more elaborate. Probably going to do some ramps, and I'm going to wear lame. I'm just joking.
Wow,
But,
pyrotechnics and everything.
I'm going to shave half my head.
well, I told him he needs to start working on his David Lee Roth scissor kicks right off the end.
Yeah, you know, I'm just
I
going
would give you $100.
well,
Someday.
Right. So I mean, I'll take you up on that.
I mean, I'm personally going to be exclusively performing in roller skates, but that's just my own thing.
We're very serious about what we do.
Yeah, but I would like to say that right now there's like, I mean, I'm very new to this. I mean, what, 2 months now? 3 months? 3 months into it, and like, we're just really tight, and we've been gigging almost like just outside of the Bay, and just like doing a lot of gigs, and so we're really solidifying ourselves as a band, so the next time we go in the studio, it's going to be pretty much a breeze, from my estimation. So, we've just been unified really a lot lately, musically, and so I feel like really carving out a niche for ourselves in the sound that we're doing, you know, like they started and we're just kind of like, I think Minerva said it, like, you know, like their old album kind of got them in like the old neighborhood, and kind of getting them in the right house, and together we're just building like an amazing house together.
Well, that's sweet.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, good answer.
Yeah, I mean, it really does mean a lot to have somebody else like on the team and truly on the bus, you know, really on board, because you know, Langston and I are married, so it's believable that we kind of have the same ideas about stuff and a lot of similar musical influences and goals, and so it's really nice for somebody outside of that to also be like, yeah, no, I totally get it too, and it's been like such a rejuvenation for the band, because it's just, I mean, it's just finding the right people that we really get along with and can really do something cool with. I mean, this is like my first musical project that I've really felt like truly proud of and comfortable with. Like, if I pull a David Bowie and this is the last piece of art that I left on Earth, I'd feel happy with that, you know? I'm not planning on it, but you know, I'm just saying worst case scenario.
Here, here.
Yeah, if it ended yesterday.
Right.
You do this full time.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you do?
What do I do?
What's your musical background? How do you make this a business?
Well, I am the result of 400 years of my family. Someone in my family's been a professional musician, and they're all string players. They're from Bohemia proper in Prague. And so, yeah, I'm just kind of like the result of that chain, and I chose to do rock and roll instead of being in an orchestra because it's a more accessible market. It's funner, more fun music, you know, it's like that kind of stuff. I like writing songs in the rock and roll context too, like the energy and the whole thing about it. But I am very fortunate to be blessed with the opportunity of being able to play music full time, and rehearse every day and work with these beautiful songs and these wonderful people. You you know, and despite the fact that Minerva and I are married, it is a pleasure to work with her, and she's super easy to work with me. Just our chemistry musically is very good too, which makes that part of our lives easier, because being a professional musician is, as everybody knows, is complex, and it's not something that's for everybody, and it's like can cause a lot more harm than good in a lot of people. But I think for us as a couple, it makes us stronger. You know, and with adding Francis in, who comes from a very strong marriage too, like understands commitment, makes us very focused. And so all the time, money, effort, blood, sweat, and tears that we put into the band really is kind of like made us focus to a point. Like we're an arrow now, and we're just kind of plowing through everything because we're doing.
So you guys are practically, well, as a band, you're married now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's very Mormon-ish, like as far as the band aspect.
It's kind of funny because I feel like we're one of the only bands around that is like monogamous in our band. Like none of us play in any other bands. We're just like this. We're the Golden Hexegrams. This is us. So it is kind of funny that I guess.
And you can just call me and Langston sister wives. It's fine.
I could do a lot worse.
Yeah. I don't know how to follow up with that.
Sorry.
But it really it has been like that. I mean, just feeling like, oh my gosh, it's not only my soulmate. I'm able to like feel this kind of like musical and connection with everything with another person too. Because after you go through a lot of personnel changes, eventually it gets to be a little bit like, oh my gosh, are we the only ones that are, can like figure out what we're doing? And it's like, no, there are people out there. We just got to keep searching, I guess.
Yeah, it's like something wrong with us.
I played in a lot of bands, and I've always made the analogy of being in a band is kind of like being in a relationship or a marriage, if you like, and everyone has to get along on a personal level. I mean, I feel like bands that are very professional and like don't talk outside of bands it's really cold, and you can hear it in the music, and like we actually genuinely get along. Like we're forging like a nice friendship in band. It's like we are a family in a way. And I think I was in a band for 5 years that toured and did a lot of stuff before this, and that felt like a divorce when the band broke up, and I literally had a hard time like getting back on the quote-unquote dating scene as far as like finding new bands. And like when I was in a band, it's just like in a relationship, I was in high demand. Every show I played at the opening band was like, oh my god, we want you to play drums with us. And I'm like, no, I'm a happily married man, and so like once that band broke up, I found it really hard to get into bands. I did little things here and there, one-off gigs. But then I found these guys and it clicked in. I'm like, oh, I found the one, second marriage. This time it's gonna work, like. So yeah.
Now, your music. What inspires you to write your music? How do you get that content into a musical form, and who collaborates in between the members here?
Let me answer.
Yeah, probably most appropriate.
Yeah, about 5 years ago, I started writing a collection of pieces for the album that we recorded last year, which we finished a year ago. Orison, to say it. And then I wrote about 50 songs all together. I tracked them. I did drums, bass,
And the strongest survive.
guitars, yeah. And so these 10 songs, 11 songs that are on there are the ones that I wanted to work on first. They made themselves most available to me to work on. And I just kind of kept working on like a Potter works clay until I was ready to fire them, and firing being the recording analogy, so.
And these are the older songs that you were talking about.
Yeah. And like even the newer songs, I'm just still coming up with the guitar line and keyboard line, just whatever, and like I record it on any means I have around me, and I just kind of work from there, work from the bass up, and once we got that going, add some drums, add some guitars, add some keyboards. It's a beautiful thing,
People go through a lot of, growing pains or growth spurts of just this is now this, but I feel like that's kind of my job to be like, okay, and now this is how it's supposed to be. This is how it is. This is the part. And
I mean, a lot of the songs have changed just based on what I've come into play. Because like I tried to learn the album as it was, and some things to me I was like, why aren't you doing this? And they're like, yeah, why weren't we doing this? And so like in a way, I've rewritten the drum parts, but I'm just literally the structure of the song has stayed pretty much the same. It's just I feel like there's like a renewed like energy in the songs, like because like if you listen to the album, it's amazing. I still like that album a lot. I think it's great. But if you come see us live, the energy is it's almost like a different band. But,
do you like this band live more than record? Or?
Well, at this point, because it's all of us just really like feeling that thing, really getting energized and getting that euphoria off of playing together. Like we really do like lock in as a unit. It feels like really like one solid unit. Like we're all together, locked in. No one person is like really shining. I feel like we all like have our moments where we're like playing. Like I play pretty heavy and I play a lot, but so Langston's there too, and we're just trading back and forth. And so
yeah. And you guys were just talking about playing as a unit, almost like a marriage. Right?
Mm-hmm.
How's that gonna go when you start touring?
I mean, I feel like we've done. Where did we go on a small trip? We personally went up to Denver. It was unfortunately right after we had hired Francis, so we weren't really worked in enough and had to use replace a substitute drummer. But so we've kind of worked out some of the rough things of that, and luckily we're both very geared for touring. We're both very adaptable, and a lot of our natural inclinations are, work towards that, and a lot of what our home really can just be transported to wherever we are. And I feel like the only thing that's stopping us with touring perfectly comfortably is just getting a slightly bigger vehicle. And otherwise, I mean, like, 'cause we get along, we have a nice balance that you kind of need, like, in a marriage of, like, yeah, I can talk with you for hours, or I could just be around you and not be irritated, you know?
Sounds good to me.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. So any last words for me, or what's the next project for you guys? Or
We're going down to LA in the middle of December to play a couple shows. Probably play in the Bay next month at the end of the month. So towards the new year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to be down in LA playing with Manhattan Murder Mystery, great band out of West Hollywood. And yeah, hopefully we'll be recording an album in the next year, hopefully.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Great. I'm looking forward to that one.
Thanks a lot.
There's gonna be more of us.
Thank you for sharing the moment with me. I've been wanting to do this for a year, actually. So
Long time in the making. I think it's been worth the wait.
it's epic.
Thank you very much.
She